You know, when I speak dependency, so we see people start depending on third parties, depending on ETF, depending on exchanges, and in custodian platforms. So let's explore together why this shift really important, if it exists, and also we'll look at what is our mission if we want to balance the ecosystem. So I would like to start with the first definition and principle of Bitcoin. So the first definition of Bitcoin is a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. And when we say a peer-to-peer, it means a peer knows how to self-custody and a peer knows how to transfer Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is made as a revolution for all street. It's not made for only one street. And if we look at this revolution, it should allow everyone to participate, regardless where they are and regardless, about their knowledge. And what we see today is the corporate and government treasuries, after 14 years and 10 years from the day one of the Bitcoin, they start accumulating a lot and a lot more Bitcoins. And the Bitcoin grow 100x in value from 2008, 2006 till 4 or 5 years ago, where we didn't have a single Bitcoin sitting in any corporate treasury. Bitcoin already went 100x and 1000x. So the simple question, why you think that? Because people stood behind it, people they self-custody the Bitcoin, and people, they contribute to the network. And what we see today, that self-custody brings freedom. And we want the masses to stay ahead all the time. Because Bitcoin doesn't survive because of passive believers. If you are a passive believer and trader and you don't really contribute to the network, you are not supporting the ecosystem. If you self-custody and you embrace decentralization and you participate in mining layer, then you make Bitcoin survive because of active contribution. So here I will just show you, is this drifting real? And we use drifting because we are from mining race. So in 2025, since the beginning of the year, 5% of total Bitcoin holding moved from people hand to corporate's hand. So we had people holding 71% of Bitcoin. When I say people, I say retail. And non-retail, at end of this year, we are ending at 66%. So why this shift is happening, the 5%? The truth is the corporates and treasuries, they bring strength to Bitcoin. But people make Bitcoin unbreakable. And during this year, we have only 1% if total supply mined. So if someone tells me that this shift happened because of miners, no, not because of miners, because only 1% mined during this year. So it's 4 to 5% of Bitcoiners sold their Bitcoin during this year to corporate, or they give it to self-custody organization. And that's here the momentum. Because if you see on the left side, the institution, we all know public companies, self-mining companies, ETF issuer, government holding, they gain the momentum. Why they gain the momentum? Because they understood the potential of Bitcoin, and the retail, they still understand the potential, but the push to the left side, it's 5% within 1 year. Why I think this is alarming and need rebalancing now? Because if we continue at 5% drift per year, we'll end up having 50% of total Bitcoin distribution circulated in only institution. So is it good or bad? Yes, good, but the perfect future where we keep the balance. So we work in the retail people to self-custody and know how to manage their Bitcoin and to contribute to the mining layer. And on the left side, also we have the corporates push and brings the fast momentum, because if all accumulation happen in corporate side, Bitcoin will be systematic. If all holding happen only on retail side, Bitcoin will remain pure, but will grow slowly. So the perfect future that both work together. And it's very obvious, do you want a solution? One side growing slower than the other side, we need to support retails by really educating them and bringing back, the adoption or speeding the adoption of retail. How this comes? By tools which gives people a self-custody in a simple way. But also, most important, we want to allow these people to participate in mining, to participate as contributor to the Bitcoin in a simple way. And that will unlock them because they don't become only passive believers, they become an active contributors. And they don't become only traders because then they depend on Bitcoin price, but they make Bitcoin stronger because of its people. So here come also the believer session. So if Bitcoin started as peer-to-peer electronic cash system, the knowledge is not exception. So the knowledge should spread from person to person. Otherwise, you cannot put 1 million or 2 million in conference halls and try to tell them the truth. So we need to educate people, to educate others, and multiply that knowledge across. And this is what we focus on. And also what we also thought of mining as mining race, we added a peer-to-peer distribution incentive system as reward for people who really take this knowledge and multiply it to others through also a decentralized peer-to-peer distribution system. So after we did that for 1 year, I would like to share with you some figures. So we have been able to create above 100,000 non-custodial Bitcoin accounts in 1 year, and we are one of the few retailers in the world that we can measure our contribution to the Bitcoin network. The second one, what we mined around 2,000 Bitcoin in 1 year. The fact, I don't like this figure because of the number, but I like that 2,000 Bitcoin have been distributed to more than 50,000 people. So this is the fact. So we don't accumulate, but we circulate. And accumulation is good, but distribution and circulation, what is missing in the ecosystem for retailers. So we aggregated 1.5%. Today we aggregate 1.5% of global Bitcoin mining. And we contributed more than 10,000 L1 transactions. And we generate also through the online transactions more and more rewards to encourage the miners. Let me ask you one question. If we see 1 billion goes in and out as investment in ETFs, what the miners gains? If the trade and the people, they don't self-custody and we don't see the transaction in L1 layer, it is good to get institution in. But it's not good because there is no contribution as fees to the people. The last one is my favorite. Through past 12 months, we've been able to reach 10,000 direct peer-to-peer education from mining race to the people, and that multiplier comes by 5. And our goal this year to reach 50,000 people, that multiplier will come to 250,000, then we'll see the retail side really go faster. Yeah. So what I see here, what we look ahead, I call this people mining era. Why we call this decade people mining era is for simple. Half of remaining Bitcoin issuance will be issued in the next 5 years. And what that means if someone participates after, and if we accumulate and concentrate the mining to huge self-mining companies only, we will end up another 3-4% of holding also goes to institution side. So our aim that we want to onboard millions of people, not as passive believer, because passive believer, they will never protect Bitcoin network. Active contributor, even with a small portion of mining power, they contribute to the network, then they can bring higher impact to the community. So the question is, the fact is that millions will be joining that during this era. The fact, will we get them as short-term traders, Bitcoin traders, or are we getting them as active contributor to the network? The last message from my side, we have all together to build an ecosystem where institution provides strength. It is good, not bad. But people provide resilience. And people comes only with adoption from retail. And our mission to make mining accessible and participation in universal, I would like to say that this all born from UAE to the world. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rami. I believe that for everyone who is here in our on our amazing next.